Hello, familians, and welcome back to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host, Lex, coming to you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. Yeah. All right. For any questions, show requests, or anything under the sun that you can think of or want to say, please be nice. That is at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com, yandex.com, and as well as Real Double Dose channel.blogspot.com, where you can check out insights, so much more, tips, and all the above, mostly with throughout the blogspot itself. And at the About Me section at the bottom, you can find our links to our book series of just basically the hustle and purpose-driven life, and different ones too, to get your motivation kind of going up there even more so, and development of understanding. That is also going to be where you can check us out. And as TuneIn, Stitcher Radio. Oh my gosh, I'm just gone today. Anthony told me it was going to be one of those bloopers. Okay, so TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Blueberry, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes, SoundCloud, and much, much more. You can find our disclaimers, music disclaimers, and so much more on the SoundCloud, as well as the Real Double Dose channel.blogspot.com. And we do have a Real Double Dose channel.com. Yes. We're mingling that in. And YouTube, don't worry, we'll figure out something with that. So, without further ado, we're going to get this beautiful rolling. Also, we want to just say we still are giving away. I know you guys had, a lot of our families had inquired about the giveaways, and we're definitely trying to figure out how to make that more accessible to a platform, because I know a lot of people are transferring over to broadcast podcasting, some like the YouTube series, and only stay on YouTube. But we're trying to merge those into where new families can come in as well. And those of you who have been aboard this whole time, and give a shout out to one of your favorite episodes. You can get that contact with our email or whatever else it is, and we'll have a special surprise just for you with one of our feature sponsors, GiveMeAllThat.com, and different ones too. So you can just be getting free awesome stuff for being amazingly you. So let's get this started. We're 2 minutes in. This is hashtag Truth Hurts. Yes, and I want to just say it. And we got to give a shout out to Lizzo too, because I know that was her song, one of the names of her songs, and she's amazing. Okay, she's just a glowing, voluptuous, beautiful queen. And I just want to put that out for her. Truth hurts. But this right here is based on what we do at RDDC. This hashtag Truth Hurts. But I think maybe a little bit on where we're going with this. So let's dig in. Now, I was going through, and I had, oh my gosh, let me just tell you about this clarity moment. So many clarity moments. Yes, it is. Okay, so when I was having this conversation with a wonderful friend of mine, he had said something to me that it resonated obviously, but he said, I can't quote it word for word, but he had told me, man, like, the way you uphold yourself and the way you hold yourself, I have no choice but to uphold you in the same mannerism, if not higher. That right there caught me, and it just kind of opened up this whole gate of Eureka-isms. I don't know if that's a name, but I'm making it one. And I was like, man, because, hey, I'm in the human flesh too. And although a lot of people want to say, hey, Lex, you're the spiritual guru, you're the motivational, you're the thought leader, that's who I am as a title to myself. I don't represent that to everyone, because at the same time, people might have their own feelings. It's not doubting myself. It's just I can't call what it might be to someone else. So, breaching upon that, I was looking at it for a moment, and I'm like, man, and I've heard this many a times, and a lot of people, and it's not the way, it's the person that said it for one. It's the conviction within their words for two. And at the same time, to have that being said, it triggered off a lot of mechanisms. And don't get me wrong, my Drew was amazing for saying that. And I appreciate every friendship and every relationship that may come about, because it's all a learning experience, and it's all for growth, and it's all for spreading love. That's what it really can be boiled down to, no matter what we look at. But it also calls for kind of not necessarily a rant, but something that can be said to what it is. Now, a lot of different people I talk to, whether it be Khadijah, whether it be, Sarah, whether it be, Kyle, whoever, it could be Malcolm, whoever. Anthony, Angie, the different ones we have on the RDC team. And I looked at it the same way. I mean, sometimes circumstances, even though we try to control them or manipulate them, they still cannot turn out the way we want them to be. But what do we have to do from that point? Then remove ourselves from the situation itself if the situation is not willing to improve. Point in case, my significant other, quote, this is all platonically, I had to move myself away from that situation for quite a while. It just took more time to get to where it is now, because I'm like, well, at the end of the day, truth hurts. Hashtag truth hurts. So let's talk about that. The truth hurts that we're willing to accept, and this is myself included. Okay, all of the above who can understand this, or have not let it be a future lesson for you. The truth hurts when we deal with situations we don't have to. Now, it's different if you're, in a whole nother space and time, or a whole nother world, country, whatever, and you have certain things out of your element, but you still have the power of your mind to escape, and no one can enter that and tell you how to think, feel, or even breathe, for that matter, in that space. But the truth hurts is, I didn't have to deal with that all the time. I didn't have to deal with that whole situation. And I don't look down at it anymore like, oh, that's such a huge regret. No, I can't do that. I can't do that, because that was still a learning lesson. Now, a lot of things push us back from moving forward to where we should be at this very point in time, but things shifted for a reason, things happen for a reason, and we're able to give clarity on that because of what we had to deal with that shift in time. The truth hurts. Hashtag the truth hurts. Truth hurts. Because we don't have to put ourselves in these unkindly situations. If someone is cursing us out of our name or making us feel a certain way, we don't have to deal with it. Point blank, period. If someone is sitting there, and it's not the point of, you can't run away from all situations. There's certain situations you don't have to run away. You just have to turn around, just dust your shoulders off and step away like the gentleman or the wonderful woman you are. Simple as that. I mean, there's no running away from that. You can't be called a weak person because you decide to be strong enough to walk away from a situation. You can't be called a person who's strong because you stay in a situation that is only making us and you and I weak. That's the whole thing in the stipulation. Well, you're strong, you go through this and you go through that. No, that's not the case all the time. Sometimes those things are making you weak. No one would tell you to stand. No one in their right mind. Let's correct that. No one would tell you to stand in a burning building and just handle the flames and the heat and the fire because it makes you a strong person. No. You wouldn't even have to turn weak because you would be disintegrated. Let's be real about it. So ultimately, I'm looking at this factor like, the truth hurts that for the ideas and the stuff that we have to do we let fear hold us back. And even though fear may hold us back, nothing's stopping someone from getting an extra 4,000 calories in that day of fear of gaining weight. But it happens nonetheless if it's nerves or just life. No one stops a person from, nothing can adhere to being in that mannerism. If a person says, hey, I'm in a great relationship, but I want to go step out here and see the grass is greener on the other side while still maintaining my relationship, I'm going to go cheat, knowing I could hurt that person. They could find out, or something else worse could happen between her getting pregnant or him getting me pregnant and something else happening even worse. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the truth hurts. Truth hurts when we're sitting there dealing with circumstances that we can change by making a simple change in ourselves. There's nothing that is more gratifying than knowing you can do something. If a person says, well, I want to start a business right away and I just don't know what to do. Now, I've had this meeting. Now, let me get to this. Now, I had a meeting with a certain person, and this person was, for months now, maybe a year, was sitting here. And, I hear a lot of this all the time. Lex, I want to start a business. I want to be financially free. I have, 18 kids, or I have 4 kids, or it's just me and I'm tired of working 40, 50-hour weeks and I could only take a vacation, 3 weeks out the year and barely even go anywhere on that because I have too many mouths to feed and too many bills to pay. I understand the rat race of the world, the rat race of this country, of where you're not compensated enough to actually have a life to where you feel stress-free in order to get back into the game and make it feel more freedom and more growth for the business itself. We have it backwards, where people want more time and energy into the business, but they're not willing to give more time and freedom and energy back into the person making their business flourish. That's where I'm going to start changing the game in my own role. But back to the matter at hand. I told them, okay, well, let's have a game assessment. Let's have a plan. And my critical way of thinking to a certain standpoint is let me see how this person is rolling. Let me see how far they've come. Now, they've been consistently telling me about this whole structure they've had for so long. They've been telling me about how they want to get up with me and get things going. And let me see where they've come. Okay, one, if you don't bring a notepad and a pencil or something, you say, oh, I got my phone. If a person specifically tells you, bring a notebook and a pencil, that right there is a test. Is a test to a testimony and a testament that you weren't coming prepared. Okay, I'm not talking about a phone. This is, for example, what happened with me. I'm not talking about a phone. I'm not asking for a notepad on a phone to where you constantly have text messages coming through or Snapchat or whatever social media going through so you get distracted. Then on top of that, you don't sit down long enough to where you can even have attention on what you say you're about. Then you invite other people that are supposed to be about this quote business you're about who aren't even about the business just so they could sit down on it. For me, one, they're lucky and they're blessed I didn't charge them a fee for even taking my time out that day because I'm a generous person. But at the same time, I have to limit myself because my time is very valuable, as all of ours is. That's something no one can ever give back to you except the Creator. So I look at that and I'm like, man, at that point when I got a chance to see it, I already had the feeling where I was like, man, I could be doing something in this 2 hours that's taken from my day. But at the same time, I took that sacrifice. That person didn't sacrifice anything. They didn't have anything to do but sit there and twiddle their thumbs. And they blatantly said this. It's not my assumption. And just from them sitting there trying to go co-chief, I'll say, in the area we met, just sitting there acting like it was a nice little bar where they could just, puff the hookah and just act like it was no big deal. I realized and I came to the conclusion that they want me to do the business plan for them. They want me to show them directly the way, not the whole steps it takes to get there, just directly the way, send the link, send the information, let them get started, and magically push some wonderful button and let all this money come through. Honey, I have news for it and us. If there was a button that anyone could get rich for, everyone would do it. Now, at the same time, there is a button that you can get rich for instantaneously once you figure out the understanding or short matrix of it working. Some people just set it up, maybe take them a day or two or a couple hours, and it is quote, 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 a button for them. That's the get rich quick button, is when you figure out the way and learn how to automate it and know how to set it up and put your love and time into it, or your energy and time into it, and set it up to the point where it feels like a magic push button. But that's not the case. Truth hurts. And coming back around to that, the truth hurts is they should have been more prepared. Now, they came back to me and said, Lex, you didn't email me. You didn't call me. You didn't text me. And I'm saying, well, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, you didn't even come to me. Like, I have a schedule to keep. Even if I wanted to sit there and watch YouTube all day long, that's my schedule. I know exactly what to implement. And yeah, my bank account might not match exactly everything that's in the knowledge hole, but I'm still working my way to get things there so I can help the betterment of all my brothers and sisters from every walk of life and every color on this earth. I know where my aim is, no matter how much track I get off of or on. So their excuse was, I'm giving you this story for a reason. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was just so busy. Had so much stuff. I'm just so busy. I'm so sorry. Well, there you go. Hashtag truth hurts. You're too busy not being busy enough doing what you say you want to get busy about. So you expect me, or maybe in your case, you, to take time out of your schedule, write a plan, do all these things. And this person hasn't even said a proper condolence for the losses I had last year, the funerals. Hasn't even got a chance to even text me throughout the week to say, hey, I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Hope you're okay. Hope you're breathing. Let alone anything. A person doesn't have to be a friend to me or a close friend to me to get that help. But it bothers me when a person pretends to be that kind of friend and ask for that help. Pretending. Right? I would have a random stranger has taken my information and gone on to write a wonderful best-selling book because of the information I gave them within 20 minutes of just meeting me. That's how serious hashtag truth hurts is. The truth hurts is we give time to those things that we see are worth our time. Truth hurts is for all of us in some kind of way, and for me at once upon a time, I wanted to hear the story. I didn't want to write the story. I wanted to write the story, but I didn't want to publish the story. I didn't want to publish a story and not have anyone come to what I wrote from what I was just listening and reading to. But at the end of the day, it made me feel 10 times better to do that instead of just pretending to do something. So back to that ending of the story for this. Okay. That person, Coco, it obviously is, and they could find their own way. They could do what they need to do. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear some bickering about it later. That's not my problem. My problem is no one's problem but my own. And the whole understanding is, if you would have came prepared, it would have been just fine. I don't know what the saying is that Les Brown was saying before one of his speeches. Well, some time ago. I think it was some few years back. But it's better to be prepared for a situation to arise and happen and be prepared than it is to have a situation arise and not be prepared at all. So that person having a book in their hand and a pen, even if they never wrote a single word, it would have showed me that they're on the same level. I went out that same night, even though I had a lot. I mean, I'm telling you, super stressed out, a lot of stuff on my plate. Deadline Sunday, which would have shut down. I mean, by the grace of the Creator who has my back always, it came through. A little effort in there, a little running around, but I mean, I was extremely stressed to the point where my skin started reacting to it. And I still made time to sit with him at a coffee shop, and then later on down the line somewhere else where it was just not appropriate in my book. So for the conversation that needed to be. But I'm just saying, it turned out to be, they saw the fact that I didn't have any email waiting for them. I don't have time, and neither one of us should have time to put into someone else's dream pool what they're not willing to take out of their dream pool. Okay, the truth hurts is we need to start putting more effort. And that was a perfect example of a story where the truth hurts is the reason why you're not closer to where you want to go right now, where we could have been a year ago, is because you didn't put the time into it or you didn't prepare for it. The truth hurts is I got 2 years, 2 months, okay, 2 hours or so, maybe 3 from commuting to sit there at a meeting with someone and realize they weren't about that life. They're not about that life. They could be about obviously the life that they're living that they're not happy with, but they're not about what I'm about. And that's fine. And for me, it doesn't have to be my niche. It just has to be that you're a serious person on what you want to do. I know fear is false evidence appearing real, but in order to have someone else indulge on the false evidence appearing real in your life, you have to be 10 times harder to even have the huevos or cojones to ask someone else to take time out of their schedule to pursue your dream, because the truth hurts when you're not accepting what really is the dream that you even think you have. So I just want to put that out there. Any situation, the truth hurts if we didn't go get a tooth, extracted that should have been, and now we're dealing with a serious infection. The truth hurts is we're sitting there hanging out with friends for hours and hours on end and getting up with a hangover, can't perform at work properly, and doing the same thing over and over. I understand it's habitual habits and effects, but at the end of the day, there's too much information. At least 50 to 60% of it is correct that we know of, for us not to go on that. There's always a way to figure it out. And ultimately, that's all there is to it. And for me, the same thing applies. Hashtag truth hurts when I'm not assessing how much and how valuable my time is and what I have to do in order for what I have to fulfill for potential millions, even millions more people out there in the world. That's the truth. I'm going to wrap this up with saying, like I said in many other episodes before, that every time we're taking more time to do what we have to do, that could be 100, 10, 20, 1,000, a million lives that's supposed to be affected in a positive way by what we're doing. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take a gunman, some ignorant person, to go out there and hurt a million or 100 people. They just go out and do it because they're stupid enough to do it. They're selfish, taking everybody out with their idea. So it's much harder, it seems, for us to go out there and say, I want to write a book. Well, start writing. I don't have an idea. One of my other friends, I don't have an idea. Okay, well, what idea do you want? You read about 10 books a week. Okay, well, just start. Okay, I will. But yet, all the while, they're telling me 3 weeks later, man, I lost so much money in getting drunk and doing this. And I'm not blaming it all on alcohol. But what I'm saying is, it's the actions that we take. It's the moves that we make. And it's the situation that we create. That's what it comes down to. Hashtag truth hurts when we're not doing what we know we're supposed to be doing and expecting different results. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I mean, it's not going to change too much, slightly, but it's not going to change enough. Truth hurts when we're allowing an abusive situation to keep going on, knowing that there's so many avenues of getting help for that. Truth hurts when you know there's something going on, or you cut yourself and you need stitches or some antibiotics and you're not getting it, and you have the open vessel to do it. Okay, for us who are able to do it. If you know someone, even us, if you have an idea, if you have something you want to say, I need help with, we encourage you, RDDC families, and those who are just tuning in, shout out at us. We got all of our links there. It's not hard to find us. Let us know what's on your mind. And just what we're here to guide the way. We're not here to offer you a $10,000 course on how to do a simple thing. We're here to offer that. And when we see that you're a person that's really persevering what you got to do, keeping you accountable of that, if you desire to have accountability, then we're all about that. So, I mean, when I started in this game, even several years ago, it was very hard for anyone to get any help without having to pay a foot, arm, and a leg, let alone the real people telling you the real things. There was a lot of trial and error. But now that I figured that out, I just have to push it away, focus on the things that are of importance, important to get implemented, and start providing for my family even more the way I want to. We can all do it. But hashtag truth hurts when you see the truth, you know the truth, but yet you choose to not to see it as the truth. Anyways, share this. Say what you got to say on your mind and your heart. This is Lex at Real Double Dose Channel. That is Real Double Dose Channel.blogspot.com and at yandex.com. Real Double Dose Channel, of course. And our handle Instagram at Real Double Dose Channel and RDDC Lex Team /Facebook.com. We have that going on all the time. Many more links. Check that out on SoundCloud and so forth. Be the change. Feel the passion. Embrace the power of that wonderful spirit, because it draws near you and in you at all times when you and we allow it. Until then, we're going to say, what we're going to say. We hope to talk to you very, very, very soon.